There was a garden, Eden, a place of beauty and harmony where every sunrise promised a new day of wonder. Adam and Eve lived there, walking with God, surrounded by abundance. Every step they took was filled with purpose, and every breath was peace. No pain, no fear, just innocence and joy. The world was untouched by sorrow, and laughter echoed through the trees. Their only task, tend the garden and enjoy its gifts. Every plant, every animal was theirs to care for and delight in. God gave them one rule: eat from any tree except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All else was theirs to enjoy. If you eat from it, you will certainly die, God warned. This was not just a command, but a loving caution, a boundary for their protection. This single boundary was a test of trust, a choice between God's wisdom and their own desires. It was a moment that would define their relationship with their Creator. Obedience meant life and trust. Disobedience meant separation. The future of paradise rested on this delicate balance. For a time, Adam and Eve lived content, free, and close to God. Their days were filled with discovery, their nights with peace. The garden was theirs, except for one forbidden fruit. That single tree stood as a reminder of their freedom and its limits. The rule was simple, but its consequences would shape all of history. One choice would echo through generations. Eden was a world of yes with one no, a paradise balanced on a single choice. Everything depended on trust and obedience. They lived in peace, unaware of how fragile that peace truly was. The simplicity of their world hid the weight of their freedom. The stage was set for a decision that would change everything, a single act that would ripple through all of humanity's story. Into this peace came the serpent, cunning and persuasive. It questioned Eve. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree?" Eve replied, clarifying God's command, but the serpent twisted the truth. "You will not certainly die," it insisted. "Eat, and you'll be like God, knowing good and evil." Tempted by the promise of wisdom, Eve saw the fruit differently, desirable, powerful. She took it, ate, and gave some to Adam, who also ate. In that moment, trust was broken and innocence lost. A single bite changed the course of humanity. Instantly, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened, not to power, but to shame. The knowledge they gained was not what they expected. It brought a heavy burden, a sudden awareness of their vulnerability and imperfection. They saw their nakedness and, overwhelmed by embarrassment, tried desperately to cover themselves with fig leaves, hoping to hide what could not be unseen. Hearing God's presence moving through the garden, they were seized by fear and hid among the trees, experiencing terror and guilt for the very first time. God called out, "Where are you?" Not because he didn't know, but inviting them to step forward, to confess and confront their actions. Adam admitted his fear and shame, shifting blame to Eve. Eve, in turn, blamed the serpent. In that moment, no one accepted true responsibility for what had happened. The harmony of Eden was shattered, replaced by fear, guilt, and blame. The garden's peace was broken, and the world changed forever. Their relationship with God, once close and trusting, was now fractured and distant. Innocence was lost, replaced by self-consciousness, regret, and a painful sense of separation. The consequences of their choice were immediate and profound. Eden's peace was lost, and nothing would ever be the same again. God pronounced judgment, beginning with the serpent, cursed to crawl on its belly, forever marked as a symbol of deception and destined for enmity with humanity. The serpent, once a creature of cunning, would now be a reminder of broken trust and the consequences of rebellion. To Eve, God spoke of pain in childbirth, a sorrow that would echo through generations, and the struggle for harmony in relationships. Her desire and her challenges would be intertwined, shaping the story of every family to come. To Adam, the ground itself was cursed. Work, once a joy, turned to toil and sweat. The earth would yield its food only through hard labor, and mortality was assured. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. Life outside Eden would be marked by struggle and loss. Yet, even in judgment, God showed mercy and compassion, offering a glimmer of hope amid the sorrow. He made garments of skin for Adam and Eve, clothing their shame and vulnerability, providing for their needs as they faced a new and uncertain world. But paradise was lost. They were banished from Eden, leaving behind the only home they had ever known. Cherubim and a flaming sword guarded the way back, ensuring that the path to the tree of life was closed. Humanity was separated from the garden, but not from God's care. Even in exile, his presence and concern remained with them. The story of Eden ended, but the story of redemption had just begun. A new chapter was opening, filled with both hardship and hope. Even in exile, hope remained, and the promise of restoration lingered on the horizon.